Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the global Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today. Hello, African Diaspora News Channel. My name is Reneilwe Morema, reporting live from Johannesburg, South Africa. In studio today, we have Miss Brenda Ngxoli. She's an Emmy-nominated actress, SAFTA winner, and an all-round artist, extraordinaire, legendary, veteran, in my studio. Guys, I'm really excited. Can you tell on my face? So how are you, ma'am?
I'm good, thanks, Nkosazana. How are you?
I am good. I'm so glad that you're here. I was so sad when they're like, we're doing a Zoom call. I'm like, no, please, can we have it in studio? So finally, thank you for agreeing. I'm fanning right now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's good to finally meet you as well.
Thank you so much. So I'm just going to get straight into it. Guys, it just saddens me that 30 years after democracy, racism is still well alive and kicking in our country. I mean, there are some people that are racially discriminated each and every day, and those people don't have the guts to come forward. So for you to actually come to studio boldly enough to report on the incident, to tell us your side of the story, really, really warms my heart. And I hope a lot of artists or any people that have been racially discriminated against in the workplace will have the guts to come forward and voice out their voices and speak up, man, because this is not fair. It is really not a nice feeling to be racially discriminated against. I can imagine what you went through at that particular moment. I can't even begin to comprehend it. How are you feeling, though? Let's just start there. How are you feeling?
Look, I'm great. I'm great. Thank you very much for asking. But I think I'd also like to highlight that this is an incident that happened like a couple of years ago.
Yes.
But it is part of a packaged journey of mine that I've embarked upon to speak out in relation to a lot of things that I've experienced within the entertainment industry. It's also part of my own personal journey to just share like the real Brenda Ngxoli in terms of like who I am and what I've been going through. And obviously, part of the racism itself that I'm highlighting is something that happens on an everyday basis within the entertainment industry. But it also goes far beyond just the racism. There's also tribalism that also exists within the entertainment industry. I'll talk from my own personal experience. Obviously, we then look at gender equality and all those kind of things. But it's just as a whole, how is it that we love each other and how is it that we treat each other within the workspace? Obviously, when it happened, it was quite traumatic because I literally had to go back to set and work again. And even years later, others would still lament and say, but why are you only speaking out now? And for me, it's like whenever you are discriminated against, your issues and your pain will always be valid.
Yeah, that is so true. All right, I just want to go back to the day it happened, the incident it happened. Remember, so some of our viewers here, they're not really familiar with what happened. So I just want us to take it back to what production were you shooting?
Yes, okay, so I was shooting the Soma Winter to My Skin, which is currently streaming on, I think it's Showmax, if I'm not mistaken. So we're shooting out somewhere in Somerset West, and it was a big day, like a big scene. And as I was walking out of wardrobe, my fellow thespian then said, hey, yo, gaffer mate. And what made it even worse was that there were a whole lot of like Caucasian or white people around. And till this day, what I always remember is that came from them.
Jeez.
They are gone. And needless to say, I had to go back and shoot. There was no cut. There was no, it's not like the day stopped or anything. I continued shooting, and here I am today. And when I tried to raise, the issues with production and, and then I just let it go.
So did they try to maybe sign, because I read somewhere they said you must sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Yes.
Not
So
speaking.
yeah. So what had happened, because there were a whole lot of other things that had taken place on this particular production. So by the end of it, they tried to make me to sign a non-disclosure agreement,
Yes.
which I vehemently refused to sign, because I was like, look, one day I'm going to need to be able to talk about this. I can't be called government in this day and age
just let it go.
and just let it go. And through SWAP, here I am today talking about it. And to prove that they were against me, they really wanted me to sign the NDA, my remuneration was withheld. So for several months on end, because I hadn't signed the contract, I wasn't remunerated. But needless to say, there are a lot of challenges that all of us we face in the workspace. And one, it is very important that one knows their rights.
Rights,
yes. It's very important. And also one knows that when you raise issues of this magnitude, of this kind, you've got to be prepared to stand on your own. So I've always been one who vehemently stands on their own for whatever things that I'm fighting for or celebrating.
And we just have to applaud you for that. And I hope you inspire a lot of us that are upcoming in this entertainment industry to not take things in because we want to be famous or because we want to be spared from our jobs. We need to be able to say, you know what, and this is a message actually to the government as well, to say we need unions in place to protect us when such incidents happen. Do you think that the government has protected the entertainment industry space enough?
Obviously, there's a lot that can still be done in terms of government input and world organizations. But I think as a whole, us as individuals, it's quite important that we really do take this whole thing of abuse quite seriously and look at how each and every one of us reacts and how much of abuse we actually take, because a lot of the times people say, well, Brenda, why are you only speaking out now? And I then go, oh, but the reflex to speak out after a traumatic incident, a traumatic incident varies from person to person. So you'll find that people would have been in abusive relationships, whether they're male or female for that matter, and they stay. And one always says, well, why did you stay? So then I think what's more important is the responsibility that each and every one of us should take in terms of knowing what are my boundaries, what am I comfortable with, and should somebody touch my thigh in a workspace, which is the same production, a fellow thespian then was, in a scene, was busy groping my thighs, and when I said to the director, hey, I'm feeling slightly uncomfortable, nothing was really done. I had to continue. And I do know that I'm not the only actress or female actress who lets things slide during a take, and then only afterwards you are like, did I do that? Did I let that happen? But I have also spoken to lots of male actors who've also found themselves on the receiving end of quite uncomfortable and unsavory behavior coming from female thespians, where it's a kissing scene and now they can feel that, oh, this lady's like really shoving that tongue down there. There are no boundaries here, or now the male is really feeling uncomfortable and feeling violated. So I think it's quite important that us as thespians, us as human beings, we really work on creating those boundaries, know your boundaries, and know yourself well enough to say that, okay, if this happens, I will stop it immediately.
Oh, do you think you being self-aware and enforcing your boundaries have earned you this name of being difficult to work with in the industry? Do you think it stems from there?
Oh, well, I don't know. You said the word difficult. Now I'm putting you in a corner. Look, what I do know that I strive for, and a lot of people can say a lot of things about me, but what I do know is that I'm a perfectionist. And every single thing that I have worked on, and a lot of productions that I have worked on, the characters themselves have either been nominated, internationally nominated, or they've gained themselves awards. Now, to be able to hit those kind of notes of success or of trying to strive for perfection, you're not going to be liked by everyone. So yes, I do create a strong boundaries of saying that when I do come to work, it's not time for me to show how I can socialize or to make friends with the crew. It is time for me to hit those notes that the director wants, that the script wants, that the storyline requires. So obviously that on some productions it won't make me popular, but I'm not there it's not a popularity contest for me whilst I'm at work. It is about the character. And yes, some people don't find it, I don't know, comfortable. People want to have a smoke and people want to, joke around before a take. Yes, I do also joke around. You know what I mean? But I try not to because I'm really bad at remembering the lines again after after I joke around. So yes, I call myself a soldier when I'm at work. I don't want to be thinking about anything else but the character. And some actresses have found that to be a bit boring and a bit uptight, and it's like, Brenda's not cool. I don't care about being cool because I want the character. I am, when it comes to my work, I'm very uptight until I get that take.
Okay. Yeah, no, I feel the energy. I feel that it's rubbing off.
Extremely.
It's rubbing off. Spoken to the said person that said the K word. Have you had
I haven't.
Conversation? Are you open to having a conversation with him?
It's not about him. It's about me. And I think that's why when we need to move into a space when somebody says, I didn't like what so-and-so said. Yeah, go on. Now the attention is like, it's not about him. I'm doing it for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm talking for me. So I'm doing it for me. I'm not looking for like a
sympathy.
No, I'm not. No, what I am doing is that I am sharing my story to say that on these sets that we are on, these are the type of things that happen. You've also got to realize that when I mentioned the whole government thing, I also did mention that at the beginning of my career, SAB had thrown my face all over billboards, and I was on the bottles of alcohol with for a campaign that was called for a RAIDS campaign. Mm-hmm. So I had done like an advert for it, and then the next thing there was a print campaign that was out there, and I didn't receive a cent. So I spent like 3 years dealing with lawyers, and at the end of that 3-year litigation process period, I was then told that no, my former agent, which was called Thespian, had received money and had quoted and so there were a whole lot of things that I had been mentioning. So it wasn't just this isolated incident. I didn't receive a cent back, not even a cent. So my face was like all over the country. Yes. Yeah. So there are a lot of things that we face within the entertainment industry, and you will fight these things in the background and yet not know where to then go. Yeah, but
sure. All right. Do you think now that because like you said, it's not about them. Now that the production also has responded, but do you think they have learned a lesson in terms of like the whole incident? Do you think now they're treading carefully about how they do things?
Unfortunately, I cannot speak on behalf of other people. Mm-hmm. And I'll repeat again that this is all about Brenda Ngxoli telling her story. Yeah, go on. Yeah. So I don't know what are they planning to do. Maybe the next time an actress says, so-and-so rubbed my thighs, they'll listen more. Maybe next time somebody says so-and-so called me government, they'll listen more. I don't know. I don't care. But what I do care about is the well-being of like future generations that are entering this entertainment industry and who don't know that a fellow thespian does not have the right to then fondle you, call you names, do all sorts of things that, it's wrong and you shouldn't accept it.
Well, this brings us to the end of our interview. I know we've caught you off guard. We've stolen so much time from you, but thank you so much for gracing us with your presence in studio. And for us out there, like us upcoming artists, I hope there's a lesson to be learned here. Do not accept anything that does not align with your values. I think this brings us to the end of the interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you, Africa.
Likewise, thank you, African Diaspora News Channel. Guys, like I said, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss these groundbreaking conversations right here on the African Diaspora News Channel. Don't forget to like, share, and comment respectively in the comment sections. Until next time, I'm your host, Reneilwe Morema. It's been an absolute pleasure.